Okay, welcome everybody to the Guilford Selectboard meeting of July 14th. It's about 6:32 and I'm calling the meeting to order. Chip usually reads the rules of procedure and he is not here. I think that we all know the rules of procedure and meetings have been going smoothly, so I'm assuming that we can just go on. Do we have any changes to the agenda order?
I have something to add to agenda item that already is here. We have another non-employee contract to do
Okay.
in that section. So there's not a change to the order, it's just something to add.
Okay, and so you can remind me of when it comes up.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's time for public comments or announcements. And I'm wondering if anybody has a public comment or announcement that they wanted to offer.
I was curious, asked Debbie McNeil, I was curious as to whether the list of the tax sale properties were going to be announced this evening.
Shall I answer that?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah, please.
The list is not ready yet.
Oh,
Tomorrow is the deadline for people to either come in and make a payment agreement with their first payment or go to tax sale. So
Okay.
folks have until tomorrow.
gotcha, because that was on the website that said it was going to be a motion for this evening.
I believe the motion is to move forward with the tax sale in general.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thanks, Debbie. I did want to announce that since our last meeting, that Barbara Hunt has died.
Yes.
And this is significant to us as a select board because Barbara Hunt was the first woman in town ever to serve on this board. And she was also the delinquent tax collector. And I remember interviewing her because it seemed like a really big deal, just about her stepping up to do that job. I mean, people who have been here for a while remember Stuart Hunt, her husband. And Barbara was a really important Guilford public speaker and thinker and a wonderful public servant. And so I wanted to send our unofficial condolences to Doug and other family members who are in this town. She was a real role model. So, okay, are there any other public comments or announcements? Okay, then we can go on to approving the minutes of the 6/23/25 meeting. Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Okay, I will second it. Is there any discussion? It just seems like a long time ago that we had that meeting, but I read them over recently and there they are. So I'll call the roll. Tara, do you approve?
Aye.
Okay, Mike
Aye.
and Sheila?
Abstain.
Oh, that's right. Yes, and I say aye, so we have approved the minutes. Tara, do you want to do the warrants?
Sure. I move to accept the warrants as written. Payroll week 6/29/25 for $8,639.99. Payroll week 7/6/25 for $8,348.37. Payroll week 7/13/25 for $8,917.87. Expense warrant number 2601 is $15,689.97. Expense warrant number 2601A is $48,259.43. Expense warrant number 2601B is $697.28. Expense warrant number 2601V is $1,365.28 for a total of $91,918.19.
Thank you, Tara. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, is there any discussion?
Yes, Erica sent me a detailed account because a lot went on with the missing week. So there was an extra week and between the select board meetings, and Ellie had to call Chip and Veranda in to authorize payment of timely items. There was a warrant for those separately, number 2601 for the $15,689.97. That covers Blue Cross Blue Shield for $10,854.04. IMED, Delta Dental, and IMED and Delta Dental. United Construction was $916.66. That was paid in April, but the check was lost in the mail and stopped, so we had to reissue it. There's two $1,500 scholarships from Bullock Scholarship Fund for Guilford College students, Tenzin Mathis and Gillian Fletcher. Congratulations to those. And I saw that they are going to Ithaca and Paul Smith's, I believe.
Excellent.
The other payable warrant, 2601A, contains CAI GIS mapping, which is a lister's expense for $2,000. BCTV, half of their annual fee for the select board meetings and town meeting for $1,200. Mudgett, Jenner, and Keo Wisner are the professional auditors. That's $8,500 for work on the fiscal year 25 audit. The budget is $16,500. VLCT 4102, and that's the annual dues. $4,102, and that's the annual dues. Wyndham Regional Commission is $5,863.45, and that is also annual dues. VEMR's is $4,918.08. Wyndham County Humane Society was $799.25, and that's our annual fee. And Chris Parker was $5,700 for the capital expense for the library stairs. The job is done and looks great. The other two are for ACH payments to M&T Bank for the credit card, total $697.28. And the state of Vermont for monthly payroll tax is $1,365.28.
Thank you, Tara. Is there, oh, Ellie, thank you.
I believe that there's an extra warrant there because I included the V-Tax in the one with M&T credit card.
You
So-
combined the two.
Right,
Right, so that hadn't been done when I put this agenda together, but today you did combine the two, so that's what we're going to be signing, but the amounts will be the same.
okay, I
Right.
just want to make sure.
Does that sound right? What I just said?
Yes,
It's
I did
just
combine it.
combining the two,
So which two were combined?
the
So,
A and B.
Oh, the A and B, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
okay,
I thought was there a lot of replication between A and B?
There was a invoice edit list that had the July 3rd, the in-between meeting checks that were authorized by Chip.
and Miranda.
Over Miranda. And so that invoice edit list is combined, and the ones that were highlighted and circled were from the earlier payment
Okay,
warrants.
I didn't,
Yeah, I know, it was very confusing. I'm sorry.
I just saw one and I thought,
Yeah.
I saw the second one and it looked like we were replicating
Yeah,
and so. But what is
There is no replication
in the
except
payments.
for something I'm gonna talk about
In a minute.
later, yes.
Okay.
but
Did you
there
want to
is-
say something more, Ellie?
No, I just wanted to make sure that we weren't counting the VTAX twice.
Don't think so. The credit card, I'm trying to find that warrant here. So it's credit card plus,
VTAX plus the Fish and Game.
yes, so I have that it should be
I believe.
2,062 and 56, and that's exactly what's here. So that's just those two combined into one.
Okay,
That makes sense to me.
and it just sounded like Tara had read off it, the state taxes being separate in a different warrant, so that's why I just wanted to check.
Yeah, no, I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay, is there any other conversation about the warrants before we vote? Okay, well, just for variety, Sheila, are you abstaining or?
No, I
Okay.
read it. I went
Okay.
through it. Yeah, aye.
Okay,
Aye.
Mike, Tara,
Aye.
and I say aye. Okay, we have passed the warrants. So the next item on the agenda is updates and reports. And we'll hear from our town administrator, who has been up to her ears.
Okay, so much has happened. I will just talk about a little bit of it. Our local emergency management plan was approved by the state. So that's all set for this year. I attended a webinar by Acroshore, and that recording exists for all of you to watch. It's in, I don't know if I've shared it yet. I shared it with Veranda, and I wanted some input there from Veranda and Chip. But I'm happy to share it with everybody. We should all see it. It's very informative, but I still have questions. So I will share that with all of you. We had a staff meeting. We are trying to have a staff meeting every month at the last Wednesday of the month. And we talked about a lot of really, really good stuff. Some things which I need to follow up on, like building maintenance, and there was a question about holidays and holiday pay and for staff, so I asked VLCT. I still am in talks with Jill Muir at VLCT, so I will have an answer about that soon, but I don't yet. I created a RFP for Stage Road work, and that will be, the deadline for that is the day of the next select board meeting, July 28th, so hopefully we'll have some bids for the select board to consider at that meeting for the ditching work on Stage Road. I attended a meeting of the Wyndham County Sheriff's Office regarding the animal control officer. It seems that some of the towns that are involved in our animal control consortium have come up short in their budgets for the service that the Wyndham County Sheriff's Office is offering here. And the sheriff is just trying to figure out a way to deal with that. Mostly the shortcoming was inadvertent, and it seems like maybe some towns over budgeted, they rounded up or down, and it just was a bookkeeping error, it seems like. So I think we ended the meeting going forward. He hadn't sent any town a contract yet. We haven't gotten one for the next coming fiscal year, but we will get it soon based on that meeting. So no change for Guilford, I don't think. We finally had a prudential committee meeting for Algiers Fire District number 1. I believe Ellie will give a full report about that, but I think it was a very good meeting, and we had several Algiers Fire District residents come So hopefully that's gonna be a new chapter. We are now getting E. coli reports, which is an annual summer thing from the Deerfield River group that monitors the E. coli in all the different tributaries to the Deerfield River. And I'm happy to report that last week's for the Timber Dam area, swimming area, was very good. It grows, it gets higher as the summer goes on usually, but that can be found in the town office. And on
Erica,
Yeah.
do you get local E. coli reports or just Guilford?
No, yep, it's not just Guilford, it's like all the surrounding, it's the Deerfield River watershed area. So it's a bunch of different communities.
Do you know if the West River is still good?
I don't know if the West River is included in that.
Okay.
I can send it to you.
Oh, okay.
It's not a good place to put it on our website, but it's mostly not Guilford. There's just the one place that they monitor in Guilford.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, so please go on.
Okay. They have a website too, and yeah. Okay, so there is an open house at VEMSA on Sunday, August 3rd, that the select board has been invited to. That is, what does VEMSA stand for? Vermont EMS Academy. So that is rescue and their training facility, and it's in Newfane. And I can remind you guys about that. Somebody went last year. Maybe it was Zon. But it's Sunday, August 3rd at 2 p.m. And they're serving food. And showing off their facility and talking about EMS training. I was approved as the municipal project manager for the scoping study for Algiers traffic calming. I have sent the selection committee some materials about the firms that are in the ready group for VTrans scoping studies, and so the job now for the selection committee is to read all the statement of qualifications of these 6 firms and write a little. VTrans provides us with a sheet, a scoring sheet, and tells you how to do it. And so that's the next thing to do, and everybody will fill that out and meet to compare the scores that the firms got, and hopefully one of them will rise to the top. And then we will go on to continue that firm, to contact that firm and get a more detailed proposal from them. And I wrote a update about that for the Gazette too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Two more things. This week, we're going to have a meeting where we set the tax rate. We do the calculation to set the tax rate, and which is then going to be presented to the select board at the next meeting for approval. And there is a VLCT webinar about adopting ordinances. That's this Wednesday at 9:30. It's long, it's 2.5 hours, but it's 9:30 to 12. And the select board can attend that, and I encourage that.
Adopting ordinances,
Yes.
9:30 to 12.
Mm-hmm. I can shut up now.
Oh. Thank you, Erica. Do people have any questions for Erica about, there's a lot of learning going on always, and we're going to be having to face some changes in some of the ways that in our insurance for our town employees. I mean, there's going to be a lot of learning that we need to do, and Zan suggested, this is just a sidebar to Erica's report, that I reach out to somebody in the state legislature who's very knowledgeable about such things, so I will follow up with that. But, okay, so next we're going to hear from Jimmy.
Okay.
Okay, why don't you just.
Why don't I pull up a chair, Brandon?
Yeah, pull up a chair, make yourself comfortable.
So last Monday night, about 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, there was some excitement. A very large popple tree fell across the center road and took a bunch of trees with it. So if you lost your power and your alarms were going off, that's what happened. I assisted them in cleaning it up. All 4 live wires were taken down. And then a couple days later, we all went down and chipped. There was 4 or 5 trees went down with it. So
Wow.
it's all cleaned up again. But I don't know if you were part of the excitement, but that's what happened. We've been focusing on culverts. Some of them had been delegated for replacement several years or more ago, and so we are attacking that. That's our main focus right now. We've regraded some of the roads. They're holding up pretty good considering. Stage road's a little rough. We'll get that in a couple days. Our portion of the path at the school we completed today. Get the culvert in and the paths in. I met with Sarah last week and just knocked it out. Just needed to know what she wanted from that, so they can continue on with that. And then you'll be seeing some warrants soon. The truck maintenance, the 1-tons I'm going through with a fine tooth comb for winter. I hate to be the downer, but winter's coming. So,
Might be a relief in this weather.
well, I mean, you know, you can't start too early, right? Last Thanksgiving was the earliest that we started. That, to my knowledge, and lastly, I went to nursery school with Jane Hunt, and so I have not seen her since her mom passed. So, biggest condolences, Jane. So
Yeah,
I'll run into her somewhere.
yes.
And yep, it was
Add
a
ours to
few
yours.
years ago.
Yeah.
It was upstairs at the Stone Church in Brattleboro.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yep, quite a while ago.
Yeah, does anybody, and thank you, Jimmy, for just keeping things together with the roads. I mean, I feel as if we have all of these crazy microclimates now.
We do. It's the weather's so different. You used to know April was this, May was this, June was this, and now it's just all over the map. You know, we went from a 22 weekends of rain into a drought. I went on vacation and came back and my lawn was all burnt up, and I'm like, what is going on here? So it's and that doesn't help because when the cold air and warm pushes in and out, wherever they meet is a violent clash. Somebody's going to get it tonight. It looks like it's not going to hit us again, so good for us.
Yeah.
But somebody's going to get it. Happens whenever those two air masses meet. So
Well, it sure feels different. And, you know, I hope that you'll convey our appreciation to the people who are just shouldering it all. Does anybody have any questions for Jimmy? Anybody out there have any questions? Okay,
got off easy.
yeah,
Thank you.
Okay.
Great job.
okay. So now we have Ellie. Ellie, come on over.
Come on over. All right, it's been a pretty hectic day, so I'll do the best that I can. Just a brief treasurer's report. So all the monthly and quarterly reports have been completed for VEMR's, the Vermont state taxes and the federal taxes regarding payroll, and the quarterly report for the Department of Labor. Water and sewer bills have gone out for the second quarter, so people should start sending in those checks. Last week, I helped facilitate 2 meetings. The first one was a meeting of the trustees of public funds and the Bullock Scholarship Committee. And we had present Spencer Adams of Edward Jones. The trustees of public funds had met previously with Spencer and reviewed our financial status of the Bullock Fund specifically, and all the investments that go into the Bullock Fund. And we wanted to meet with the scholarship committee to talk to them about how scholarships were going and if they would be interested in increasing the scholarship. It's been $3,000 for a long period of time, $3,000 a year. And the investments are doing well. As a result of the meeting, we have increased the scholarships from a base of $3,000 to $5,000 a year. And we're going to be annually in April looking at the dividends that have gone into our cash account. And we'll take up to 50% of what the dividends we've gained for the previous year to look at how much more we can add to that.
That is awesome.
So starting this award year, so this, for the two folks that were mentioned, they originally got $15,000 awarded each. 1,500, excuse me. I gotta stop doing that 1,000 thing. $1,500 each. That will be increased to $3,000 each this year, which will go out. And
What
they
a
will be
happy
informed.
thing.
Wow.
And again, we've spent several rounds talking with Spencer to make sure that we are in no way going to get even close to the base amount of $100,000, which is invested. And the current balance of all those accounts right now is it's either 172,000, which is correct, or 174,000. It's in there, in that ballpark.
And just, when you finish, I have.
Okay. We're all pretty excited that we're going to be increasing the scholarship and helping those students attend the colleges of their choice.
And I just wanted to add that this is not taxpayer money, this is public.
This is not
trust funds.
taxpayer money
Yeah.
at all. This is from,
A bequest, was it?
Yeah,
and it's from the Bullock family, and they have agreed that that base of $100,000 should always be in the account. So, and that's earning us money to be able to give away. So that was exciting. And the second thing that is exciting to me is that we had, as Erica mentioned, our first Prudential Committee meeting. So we had 7 people come up to the plate. 6 of them showed up on last Wednesday. And we did a brief introduction or history of the Prudential Committee. Everybody got a copy of the bylaws. Everybody who was present agreed to be on the committee to start with and can make a commitment of at least 6 months, maybe up to 2 years for some folks. And we got our next meeting planned, which is the second Wednesday of August, which I believe is the 13th, perhaps. And we're gonna start tackling the business of the Prudential Committee and looking at the maintenance reserve and several other things that need to be taken care of. So we'll be setting some goals at the next meeting and hopefully electing a chair will go forward. So that's pretty exciting, I
That's
think.
really
this
exciting.
is amazing, Ellie, congratulations.
Well, it's been a team effort.
I'm just gonna say, it's been like 10-ish, maybe more years of trying to get this thing.
Well, we'll see
Congratulations.
what happens with it.
Yes.
I'm excited about that.
Well, that's, I really admire the way that you both have done this. It was a heavy lift.
Well, yeah, it's been a bit of a long road, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
The other big thing that's been going on is moving into tax sales. So in the last 2 months, I have put out first in yellow and then in pink, just messages to everybody who was on the delinquent tax list for more than a year. Because you can't go to tax sale if you are still within that first year of owing money. So it's been a pretty big push to get people either, first to know that a tax sale was coming up, and secondly, that folks needed to, if they have more than 1 year delinquent, they needed to, what? Are you talking, Tara?
No,
Okay.
sorry.
That's okay. That folks needed to come in and make a payment agreement, come and talk to me, make a payment agreement, and pay the first month of the payment agreement by July 15th. So, just kind of a summary of where we've gotten. So, in the last 2 months, we've got a total of 11 people that have payment agreements now, 8 of which are new and 3 of which have been revised with folks. And payments range from $275 to $1,000 a month. We have 8 folks who look like they're going to tax sale if they don't come and talk to me by tomorrow. We have 3 folks who have been in probate. One was completed and the taxes were paid in full. Another one paid partially on their taxes. And the third one is still in probate and we don't have any conclusion with that, and we'll be working with the attorney to see what's gonna happen, because that's got over $60,000 in 3 parcels worth. So there's been a lot of discussions in my office with a lot of people. Everybody's trying to take it one day at a time to make this work. Everybody has been told that they must have a payment agreement if they don't want to go to tax sale. They must consistently pay on a monthly basis, and that's a big must. And they must pay the 2025 taxes when it's due.
So any one of those things that doesn't happen, it's triggering a tax sale?
Possibly, yes.
So
Yes.
there's no established, if you don't do this, then this happens?
Well, no, there is. If folks don't pay consistently, if they don't have an agreement, if they don't pay consistently, if they have an agreement, they will go to tax sale. If I've asked folks to pay their 25 taxes on time. If for some reason they can't, then a new payment agreement must be made by November 15th.
Mhm.
That gives them a month to come in and talk to me,
Mhm.
and it'll be for the full amount. And I've also told folks who are more than several years out that this
This is it.
this is a serious thing. This is, a lot of people were amazed when we did the calculations for if they had payment agreements that go an extended period of time, how much interest they're actually paying more than what they owe right now. It's, for some people, it's quite large. So that realization for folks is kind of making them understand, like, what's really going on.
Do you have a formula for what a payment agreement is?
Yes.
I mean, how do you come up
We have a calculation sheet that's kind of like a mortgage sheet, but you put in, you put in what's owed in terms of principal, interest, and penalty. And then you can put in periods of time. This was a calculation sheet actually, I believe Pete Hetzel created way long ago.
But who determines the period of time? Or is that
I-
negotiated?
We start with a year,
Okay,
and then we look at what people can afford to pay.
okay.
My goal is not to break somebody's bank, it's to get the taxes paid. So I look at several different options with people and say, you know, what can you afford? You know, again, they're difficult conversations.
Right, sounds like it is, but you're being as reasonable as you possibly can.
As I have said to some folks, you know, and I probably shouldn't say this on the air, is like, I have to find the ground between being a hard ass and being compassionate,
Right.
you know, and it's a hard line to walk sometimes. But I'm trying to give everybody as many chances as they can to, you know, get in the door and
Right.
talk to me and create an agreement. So with that being said, so that's kind of the summary of what's going on with delinquent taxes. But what I do need to bring to the select board is, you've already agreed for hiring Bob Fisher, who is working with me. And we paid him a retainer fee. I don't know if you have to officially approve me going forward, but to go with tax sale, with the tax sale, but I would like your continued support to move forward with tax sales. Does that make sense
Do
to
you like a
you?
motion?
I probably would like a motion, so it's official, yes.
So I would move that we authorize Ellie to proceed with the tax sale process.
That's
As
probably-
outlined.
Okay.
Okay, we had it under new business. I guess this is the tax sale report, right?
Well,
So,
right, we had Ellie as a report and then also under new business, so now we're combining.
right, so are we able to do that, or do we have to do it in the order that we said? Oh,
I
that's
think
changes
I
to
think
the agenda order. Oh, goodness.
We can certainly do it later, that's fine, but I will add
I mean, we
there's
had
also-
set our intention to do that. It would make sense to do it, I just don't know.
I think it's a good follow-on to the conversation we've just been having.
I think it is, and so,
Okay, so you,
Why don't we redact the motion now, and when we get down to the tax sales report, then we make the motion to approve.
okay.
Can I also then, there is a second motion that's gonna be needed. Do you want me to discuss it now or later?
Well, it would be nice if you could go home, so maybe you should discuss it now.
Sure. So, Bob, Attorney Fisher had asked if the town could, assign a select board member as a possible bidder for properties. If the town would be interested in bidding on a property. So there's some stipulations to that. The town can only purchase a property at a tax sale if no other bid is received. The town is not permitted to retain the proceeds of a resale greater than the amount of the delinquent taxes, interest, fees, and costs. In other words, the town cannot operate for a for-profit real estate transaction. Properties not sold or bid on can be part of another tax sale at a later date. And if a property tries to go through tax sale more than once and no one bids on it, the select board has the right to reduce the cost of the property. to go up again. Does that make sense?
On a-
Reduce the
On a
possible.
property by property discussion,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Are you done? Because I have a question when you have
Okay.
finished your explanation.
The last thing I have is, I think, which addresses this, is that there are some properties that we could discuss that you might want to know more about. Does that make sense? That if for instance, the condition of a property, or how long if it's been there and it's abandoned, if
So
it's.
this would be the responsibility of the select board liaison to work with
Right, with
attorney
myself and
to
the
assess,
attorney
to make a
to.
recommendation to the select board to act on it.
Exactly.
Got it.
Interesting.
Is there an advantage to the town of doing this? Does Bob think that?
It's up to the town. There may or may not be.
Depending on the properties?
Right, depending on what the property is.
But the town doesn't benefit financially. The town recovers the taxes owed and then can put the property up for sale again?
They can only recover the taxes owed if
If it's sold to another.
it's sold to
Yes.
somebody else.
But it could be sold, if you buy something for $2 and it's sold for 10, the town gets the 2, what happens to the? It's
The 10,
yeah. The 8, sorry.
my guess is it goes to the owner of the property. The
Former owner?
yes. But we could,
I
We
think,
could-
so, I think there's a lot of nuance here to be assessed and evaluated, and I do think it would be a good idea to have a select board member as a liaison to this.
And my basic question is, I can't imagine from what fund the town would be in a position to buy a property. I mean, that just sort of stopped me, and, Erica had previewed Bob Fisher's request. I can certainly understand why a select board member should be a liaison, and, I mean, this is really complicated, and we need to be closely aligned. But the idea of the select board on behalf of the town buying a property just confused me, because I couldn't figure out where the money would come from.
the process would be, go ahead, Tara.
Wouldn't that have to be a town vote? And it would have to be a timing thing to be like an article at the town meeting?
No,
No, okay.
don't believe so.
Okay.
And
I do have another question, Ellie. I remember that there's some.
Hang on, Tara, maybe Ellie could try to answer the question first.
Sure, sorry.
Well, it's hard to follow on Zoom, it's true. Did you have more to say about that, Ellie?
I don't. I would need further clarification from Attorney Fisher
Oh,
to
okay.
answer that question regarding the actual town purchasing or bidding on a property.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Tara.
That's okay. It just seems like if there was a $200,000 property for sale, that there's gonna be a lot of different steps for the town to purchase it, and I would think that it would be something that people would vote on, not just the select board. I may be wrong, but so maybe Ellie can look into that.
Yeah, I think tax sale situations are different than just actually buying
Okay.
a piece of property.
Okay.
And again, the select board can't bid on anything that anybody else bids
Right,
on.
I understand that.
We did have, in 2018, there was a decision for the select board not to have a bidder at that time.
Do you mean not to bid on a property?
Yes.
Or
Not to have a representative.
Not to have, no one from the select board was appointed to bid on any property in 2018, to my knowledge.
But it would make sense to me that there's a liaison who would understand, who would evaluate it, work with people, and then bring the issue to the select board to act on it. This person is not authorized, this liaison person is not authorized to act independently of the select board.
No, there would be a lot of
Work to do,
discussion
yeah.
and work to do beforehand
I got it,
in
okay.
order for the select board member to be able to
Yeah.
do anything.
I volunteer.
so, when we do, take this vote requested by, Bob Fisher, our vote would indicate that we will have a liaison, not that the liaison will be authorized to bid on a property.
He is asking if the select board wants somebody to be able to bid on the property, on a property. I would suggest, since this is the first select board meeting of the month and we have another one before a tax sale is going to occur, that perhaps any questions you have funnel to me and I will discuss them with Bob and get back to the select board.
Do you happen to know why in the past, the last time we didn't have a bidder?
I don't even remember it, 2018.
What was the
I don't
reason?
think there was any property that the select board was interested in.
I don't remember
Have
ever
it.
discussing it in 2018.
Well, yeah, but that could be true this time too.
It certainly could be true.
Yeah.
Just as true this time.
Yeah. You don't have to have someone on the select board be a bidder.
Right.
Ellie,
Yes.
I have another question, but also a statement. That whoever, if we do have a bidder, an appointed select board bidder and liaison, that person obviously cannot also bid on property at the same time as a private citizen, I would assume.
I would assume that's correct.
Yeah.
Okay. And then can you tell me, because this fascinates me, but I don't know it. Once someone goes up for tax sale, do they then have a year to buy their house back?
Mm-hmm.
They have a year to redeem their property. And by redeeming, that means they need to pay the taxes, they need to pay interest and penalty, they need to pay the costs of going through
Legal.
tax sale, so the legal fees and everything associated with that. So if they do that by the end of the redemption period, then they keep their house, their property.
And is it based on the assessed value of the house at that point?
It's always based on the tax bill.
Okay.
What's owed. And so yes, the taxes are based on the assessed value.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I'm wondering whether, just because we're immersed in this now, whether we should have a motion about approving, whatever the right language is, about authorizing Ellie to go forward with the tax sale process. And then we can just postpone a vote on what Attorney Fisher has asked until we have our questions answered. I mean, it makes sense to me for us just to take care of this now while it's fresh in our minds. And
So my motion could still stand.
well, I'm just wondering whether we have to,
I think we should just go ahead and do it.
okay.
I agree.
Yeah,
Is that okay, Erica?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Okay, and
So
I
I'll
hope our,
second the motion.
Thank you.
okay,
Okay.
okay. Is there any further conversation, discussion of the initial motion? Do you want to restate it?
Pretty sure Erica got it, but it was to authorize Ellie to go ahead with the tax sale process as described.
Okay, so we have discussed this, and I will take the roll. So Tara,
Aye.
okay, Mike,
Aye.
Sheila,
Aye.
and I say aye. And so then, I think you have a pretty good idea of what our questions are for Bob Fisher, and we can put them in writing for you.
That would be great.
Okay, so, select board, let's,
I could help Erica with that.
okay, that would be great. Okay, and,
The last piece I had in,
oh, yes,
so is budget status report. So
please.
I, right before the meeting, had emailed it to Erica so that she can share it, but there's also paper copies here of both the 009 and the 003. So the 009 is the highway budget, and the 003 is the general budget for the town. And if I look at 009, the highway budget, I just want to draw your attention. I'm not looking at the revenues because I printed them out separately, I'm sorry.
Here are the revenues.
To me, the expenses are going to, if you look to the back of the first page of the expenses, looks like the total expenses are at 87.91% of the entire budget.
Congratulations.
So that is great. Jimmy's really been on it, looking at the monthly expenses, and he's done a great job. I also want to say this is, so the fiscal year end of the reports for that, but these numbers aren't final until our professional auditors come back in August. They'll be in, I can't remember, it's the 3rd or 4th week of August, but so Bonnie will be coming back. And also our local auditors, Kathy, Rita, and Lindsay, will be looking at these same reports. Hopefully I'm gonna get them out tomorrow, so and we're gonna meet next week with the auditors, local auditors. So these numbers aren't final. I'm feeling pretty good about them, but I just wanted to point that out. For the 003 budget status report, throughout the report you can see a range of percentages in terms of how we did with each category. I would say the general budget has spent more than the highway budget, but is, again, if you look at the bottom of page 6, it's looking like we're at 91% of our revenue. Our expenses are at 91%. So it looks right now that we're under budget. And I just, I could point out a few things like the county tax on page 6 was higher than we expected. What else is jumping out at me? Travel expenses for the listers was up a bit.
Legal is down considerably.
I'm sorry?
Legal.
Yeah.
a lot less than projected. What about law enforcement? So this
The
is
BC
where we have the plus of 66,000?
Where are you talking?
The law enforcement.
Right, that wasn't spent
Budgeted.
at all, yes.
So that's
That's going to be moving to
a special fund, but that means we didn't spend $67,000 there and we didn't spend $50,000 on legal. And we didn't get current use, yeah, we got $18,000 less in current use funds than we projected. Right, so 60, 10. So
our budget was higher than,
yeah,
yes,
we budgeted more than we
used, yes. And I just want to point out that I think has been pointed out before, on page 3, the BCA shows that we spent 381% more than we budgeted. But the reason that is because we actually got a grant for $5,000 and we spent $5,000 there. So you really just have to look at the line above that, the election support, where it was $1,500 budgeted and almost $16 was spent. So that $5,000 is counteracted by the $5,000 grant that we received, which I know has been brought up before. So again, Bonnie will be coming in August, and the local auditors will be coming in next week to review these numbers. And it'll be my job and Marlene's job to answer all their questions in terms of, finding out what expenses where and for how much and so on and so forth.
So I can't do the numbers here, but if I just look at the general expenses,
What do you want?
I'm gonna say the whole select board thing, which is 90%.
Select board, yeah,
Um,
page 2,
Yes.
3, yes.
If we had, so the lines that were way over were workers' comp, technology fees, FICA, health insurance, obviously, we do that, childcare contribution. It's another big one, building repairs. If we had, it's nice that we didn't spend the legal stuff, but if we had spent that, we would be way over budget.
That's something we
Because-
definitely have to look at.
Yeah.
And part of that is.
Those are uncontrolled expenses. There's nothing you could do about them. So it's a good thing that we didn't have.
There are some things we're trying to do about
Yeah, I
it.
know. But in this particular year, there was nothing we could have done about it.
That's one of the things about, you work on a budget. The budget that we're gonna be working on next is for fiscal year 27.
Right.
And when we're just finishing 25 and learning from that, but 26 is already set,
Yep,
which we've based partly on 25
and 4.
and 24.
Yeah,
And now we're looking, there,
so we project 18 months out for stuff we have no idea what's gonna happen.
Right.
And the town approves it in March, also no idea what's gonna happen, so it's projected in October, it's approved in March, and we start spending the money in July for the next, for the next 12 months, hoping that what we did in October and what we presented to the town was reasonable, but it's certainly not a science.
it's difficult at best to project like that when prices are increasing across the board, and things like insurance, we just don't know what's gonna happen. It's not just, it's mostly health insurance, but then there's, the other insurances and the workers' comp. There's a lot of insurance in the world, and unfortunately, we have to participate in a lot of it.
So I have another question that I'd like answered at another point, I just want to raise it now. We raised taxes we budgeted to raise taxes of $642,696 to cover operating expenses. It says we got in $1,111,000. I know that includes a lot of other stuff that goes to other places. Is that the transfers out in the social services? Would that be $1,111,000? Because someplace we did not get
Those
all the
first
taxes that
three-
we raised.
The first three figures
Yeah.
together is what's really going against that 1,111,000.
$111,000.
Right. It doesn't go straight across
Right.
because we've separated out
Those
those
things
three
were
things.
special articles.
Exactly.
I get that. But then we have unpaid taxes,
We have unpaid
which has a big
taxes.
impact. It's not just that we didn't spend money or that we went over budget on some things. We raised a specific amount of money to cover our operating expenses.
Yes.
And we didn't get all that. I mean, we agreed as a town to vote on a specific amount of money to cover our operating expenses. And the residents did not pay their part of, some people didn't pay the taxes that they owed, right? So we didn't get
Something you
everything
have to
that we needed.
remember about that number, the top
Yeah.
number, is it includes what was billed. Not necessarily what was
Oh,
received,
right.
but it's
Yeah.
what was billed,
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
And if I look at the most recent tax report, delinquent tax report, we have, in principle, $318,000, almost $318,400 that's still owed to the town.
For this fiscal year, this past
That's
fiscal year?
for 2012 through 2024. If we take penalty and interest to that, it's $432,000. Okay?
So every
So-
year we set a certain amount of taxes to pay our expenses. The town agrees to do that, and then if we don't get that amount of taxes in, we are short.
That's the shortfall.
That's one
part of the reasons for the shortfall.
part of the reasons, yes. So, and you know, one of the things I've been trying to let people know over the past 3 or 4 months is that, you know, paying your taxes is really important. It's supporting the rest of, it's supporting the town. And it's unfair. I know it's also very difficult sometimes to pay your taxes, but it's also unfair to the rest of the people to have to support those who can't pay their taxes. And I would say that people really understand that,
Yeah,
but it's some folks are between a rock and a hard place.
I mean, so we could budget, over budget by a percentage to cover projected delinquent taxpayers, you know, but I think that's also not reasonable.
It's also been, what is it now, 2025, our last tax sale was in 2018, so that was 7 years ago? And tax sales should be happening on a regular basis, unfortunately,
Yeah.
so that people understand that they need to pay their taxes. And, you know, this is me, you know, trying to take out the whip. We gotta get people to pay, or unfortunately, some of them might lose their property. But it's not like I'm not trying to make it work. Anyway, so if folks have questions about either of the budget status reports, shoot me an email. Like I said, again, the local auditors will be in next week to review these numbers, and Bonnie will be in also in August.
Mhm.
And hopefully by the end of August, the beginning of September, that will be the end and the numbers will be final.
Okay.
Okay, I'm done.
Ellie, you've done, I mean, just over time, you've done a really inspiring job of just balancing the difficulty of taxes, delinquencies. I mean, it's in part a public education project, and not to spend too much time on it, but your fairness and compassion are things that people experience while they're going through this. So that's part of what our town needs to.
Thanks.
Okay.
Good job, Mel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so now our next report is from Green Mountain Power. Thank you. Come on, Al. Introduce yourself.
I'll give you the chair.
All right.
Thanks for your patience.
Not a problem. All right. Thank you, Tim Jones from Green Mountain Power. Thank you, Erica, for getting us on the agenda tonight. We're here informally. Also, thank you to Jim Freeman, who made the time to meet us out in the field today to initiate our due diligence. I'm here just to share in some broad strokes a program that Green Mountain Power is currently initiated. It's a 2-year program. It's called the Zero Outage Initiative. And the goal of this program is to identify our worst performing circuits and originate projects to rebuild them and get them off that underperforming list. So how you get on such a list, the number of line miles, number of customers, severity, and duration of outages. So any folks that live in this part of the state are well aware of the challenges that we've had over the last several years, in particular with long duration outages. And this project here that we're showing tonight is sort of our calling card to storm harden some strategic lines that serve many people in rural areas. Under the term of express and intercept, our goal is to identify a line, rebuild the main line to the extent that when storms and inclement weather happen, that the main line stays on, the most people stay on, and then we're really looking at folks that might be a little bit off the beaten path and focus our energy on those outages there. So for the last 2 years, we've been working, starting in Townsend a couple of years ago, with an undergrounding program, and we've slowly worked our way here to the Halifax area where we were last year. We currently are operating in Halifax right now. This project splits both communities, so it actually starts right around, this part of the project starts around Amadon Road, Jacksonville Stage, and goes all the way through and down River Road to the end of our service territory. So I shared the maps electronically with Erica, and looks like we have a copy there. So the project for Guilford starts around page 9, so it's a fairly extensive map sheet, but it's the whole project, both Halifax and Green River.
So I'm sharing page 9
Yep.
for everyone on Zoom.
Right,
There's a-
so I think just to sort of the left of the map, and Jim can correct me here, I think out to the plow turnaround, and then basically we're going across the map, east, west to east, and then getting to the covered bridge, and then going down River Road to the end of where we have customers down River Road. Our strategy is to rebuild this line and install it underground in the road, which is why we are here to work with the town to get the town's partnership through a town right-of-way agreement, which I will share at a future date that just lays out the specifics of our rights to work in the right-of-way, but it also lines out how we agree with the town to put the roads back to the way we found them, essentially, or if not, a little bit better than we found them. So what you'll see here, the legend is fairly simple. The blue dotted line depicts underground in the road, and just practically speaking, typically we go on the upland side of the road and about 5 feet inside the road bed. So that keeps us out of ditch lines, but it also keeps us off the river edge, which is a little bit more prone to high water events. The green lines, the solid lines, just depict existing overhead where we serve individual customers, and you'll also see some solid blue lines that depict areas where we either have to cross a bridge or open water or some other reason where we cannot be underground. So to the extent that we can, if we're saying it's an underground project, typically we like to see about at least 90% of that project go underground. So there'll be some areas where we probably run into ledge or some other refusal that we can't see on the surface, and we'll try as hard as we can to get through that and keep it underground. But every once in a while, we'll have to come up overhead for a span and avoid areas where we can't get through with our machine. So we'll do some test pits and those types of things to really sort of pace us along and identify those areas where we might have to go overhead. And just in terms of putting the roads back together, again, working in concert with the road department, we realized obviously the asset value of these roads in the town, that it's a point of compliance for water quality and funding and those types of things. So again, we've noted on here all of the culverts we've picked up. And so working with Jim, just going through and identifying the size of the culvert. Is it an old corrugated metal culvert? Is it on the schedule to be replaced? So if we touch it, does that mean it needs to get upsized and those types of things? So, things typical that the town goes through as they're going through their culvert inventory and replacing it. Either it's a replacement in kind or it's an upsize. So part of our agreement will script the materials that we use. So we come as a totally turnkey operation with the trenching apparatus and all of the line and excavation companies that come behind that, go through, do our install, and basically finish out and with a finished grade of the road with the materials and up to the spec that the town would like to see have their roads put back together. You'll also notice, again, just every, let's say 1,500 feet, if there are no services, we'll have to put a termination cabinet on the side of the road.
What does that mean?
It's a little, say a 2x2 or 3x3 green box where the conductor is underground. And as far as we can go out 1,500 feet at any one time. And then we have to come up for air essentially and come into a box, splice, and keep going. So it'll just be a little box on the side of the road. Or if we're intercepting a customer service that's underground, or we need to match where their service is entering their property, we'll also see cabinets there as well that will allow us to tie into existing customer services. So that's the goal, is to get the main line in, intercept everyone's services as they are. So there will still be some overhead lines up some longer driveways, and maybe up a road like Jelly Mill where there's several customers up there, but it's just not economical at this time to try and chase every mile. Rather, we'll go main line, and that will by itself improve the overall reliability and resiliency of the lines in the area. So that line stays on. It's very good high percentage chance that everyone else is staying on as well.
There's been a lot of work that's gone on recently on Guilford Center Road, right where Stage Road and Sweet Pond Fork. And I guess my question is, it seems like the major work has gone there, all the poles replaced, and they're really high poles.
Yes.
They're not the normal, or what I think are normal poles. Why, or is it considered to put those lines underground?
It's a great question, and Guilford Center Road, and we also did a big project on Weatherhead Hollow Road that would probably mimic that. We have not been burying our lines in the paved roads. We actually have been identifying the dirt roads as more of the ideal, where what you're talking about, mostly roadside, paved roadside, we are going overhead with taller poles, and our storm hardening there is our Hendrix or our spacer configuration, where the poles are taller, more strength. There's a steel messenger cable that goes in the conductor package that helps deflect trees and so forth. So that's still our calling card for roadside pavement. That's how we storm harden our
The
lines
taller
there.
poles are just to get higher above the tree.
A little bit higher.
Is that what it means?
Yep, it allows us to get up there, but it also allows us to package our conductor as well, and we don't have to trim as much, so we're actually kind of closer to the trees almost, where not allowing the tree to pick up so much momentum and come through the line and so forth. So we're just trying to wed the materials, how we have historically trimmed trees, and just sort of looking at some of those assumptions on how to make it most resilient. So again, roadside, paved roadside is typically gonna see that overhead rebuild. So you're going from maybe a 40 or 45 foot pole to a 50, and maybe sometimes 55 if we need to. But.
So I have a question. Have you already buried the lines in neighboring towns around here?
Yes.
And what kind of challenges have there been? Has it been all going really smoothly, or have there been problems, that you've encountered that were surprising?
Yes, we've installed probably on our way to 40 miles already. So we started 2 summers ago in Townsend. So if you're familiar with the Townsend area at all, on the State Forest Road from the Scott Covered Bridge all the way to East Dover has been buried, with the exception of some overhead like I explained to you. So I think the challenges early on was basically how to sort of get that package like a paving crew moving up the road and keeping pace with everything, getting in the culverts, restoring roads. So we've perfected that part of our game. I would say the biggest challenge and probably the challenge that will always be there is just managing the roads, traffic control, working with our customer communities to put a good traffic control package in place, communicate clearly, use the town to leverage whatever social media we got to get our presence out there. So I think.
Let me just understand. Do you mean for while you're actually doing the project and the road and travel is impacted?
Correct.
I see.
Correct. So that's probably the biggest challenge that we're always constantly improving on. Again, working with the towns, working with the road foreman, all of the emergency services and so forth. So basically giving the town a couple of week look ahead for where we're going to be, what you're going to encounter at a work zone, and those types of things, just to keep folks informed and keep the temperature down on folks getting tied up in traffic and whatnot. But I think tactically, it's been going very well, and the installs have been going very smoothly. We have a really great technology, and I'll share that starting tomorrow at Amadon Road and Jacksonville Stage Road, going back towards Halifax, we're starting on the middle phase of this project. So this is part 3 of a project that goes from the school in Halifax Village, basically all the way down River Road. So that's someplace you can, and we've shared with Jim, that's someplace you can go and just see it in action and see how we operate. It's a big 400 horse tractor with a big 10-foot diamond tip wheel behind it that drives up the road, trenches, and direct buries the conductor in the ground, and then the road is pretty much restored as we go up the road.
So, I'm sorry, are you finished?
Oh, sure.
So when you say a turnkey project, it means you start it, you do the work, and you finish it. And the road, where everything is back to normal. So if you encounter a culvert, are there culverts that need to be replaced that the town would be responsible for? How do you work with the road crew?
So we've
And what is expected
Sure.
of the town, if any?
And that great questions. And I think early on, it was a little bit more cooperative, or we were getting into the town giving us materials if we were going to replace something they were going to replace. I think we've done away with that and just coming as a turnkey. We have all of our own culvert materials, head walls, anything that we need to rebuild the road, all the pieces of equipment, the finish cover. So we've done the map. We've pegged where all the culverts are, where all the crossings would be. Again, just really getting that inventory down with the town before we start and making sure that what we replace is appropriately sized. So if we touch it, we own it. So if it was a culvert that hadn't been replaced, but when it does get replaced, it needs to go, say, from a 15 to an 18 inch. We'll have those conversations with the town. So some towns like to participate. Maybe they'll drive a grader around and touch up the roads to their liking. But we do have all those capabilities to do it turnkey and make sure that when we finish a project, we would then go back with a punch list with the town and just go station to station and make sure that everything is put back together satisfactorily.
So there's no potential expense to the town when you have to go through a culvert or whatever?
That's
Is
correct.
that correct? Am I
That's correct.
understanding that
That's
correctly?
And do you have to get easements from landowners to do this, or you're going through the town's right-of-way, so it's just coordination with the town?
No, great question. The town right-of-way permit is close to our single sign-on, if you will. You know, that's gonna cover most of the work. But everything else, if we need an anchor, or if we need to be on someone's property, or reconfigure what they have going on, if there's something net new that's happening, then we'll need an easement from that landowner. So we do have right-of-way agents that have been out, and I think we're down to our last easement or two on this project. And our goal would be basically just, you know, present tonight, work with Jim, and come back either at the end of July or early August with a formal request with our right-of-way agreement. And that would be about the timing we'd be ready to probably get this phase of the project after we finish the other two.
Municipal roads general permit, you're working with the state so that everything that's redone is in compliance with those regulations?
Yeah, I think our agreement, actually, thanks to the town of Halifax, actually used that as a template that will spell out, you know, what culvert material gets replaced, what kind of stone the town would want to see as a finished cover, and those types of
For
things.
the
So
state, because often it's the state that requires these things.
right. But I guess we
Correct.
kind of go through, you know, what the towns, so rather than mimic something from the state, I think we've culled out, you know, specific things of interest, and then we just in an agreement play that back to the town and say, okay, does this cover all of the requirements you see?
Ellie has a question.
Oh, Ellie, sorry.
I'll be the first to admit I know nothing about power lines or what's on them, but there's usually more than one or two wires.
Mhm.
So what about cable? What about internet? Could those things be done at the same time? Because there's certainly areas in this area that you're talking about and elsewhere down Weatherhead Hollow Road where, you know, I can tell you at our house, we've lost electricity many times and don't have internet access. And, you know, it would probably be great if all those lines could go underneath. What about working with like Comcast or whoever to make sure, I mean, I don't think Erica's had good internet forever.
Can you improve my internet?
No, it's a great question. And what we are doing, GMP is making the investment right now of putting a spare interduct in the ground as we bury. So there's room for 3 joint utilities, as our term of art for them. So folks that we rent space to on our poles. So that's our enticement for them to join us underground, hopefully within a couple of years' time to get them, obviously to commit the capital to going underground with us, and that will give us the ability to really fully abandon all the overhead lines that we're really trying to get rid of, but it gives them an opportunity to plan a little bit. I know DV Fibers down here, for example, you know, we work with all these folks, we tell them where we're gonna be, where we're going. Some companies choose to attach to our old pole lines because they wanna get out and get in service, rather than sort of wait for us to do a project like this, but we will be making space available for all those joint utilities to join us underground.
And it's easy to jump in and thread it through.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's just as if they did it themselves, right? They're just putting a duct in the ground and basically pulling their fiber or whatever communications package they have, pulling through, and I'll also be able to sort of get at existing customers in the same fashion we are. So we can't guarantee their participation, but we are working diligently operationally, but also our leadership back in Montpelier working with all of these partner companies to get underground at the same time or within a couple of years' time.
So the area that you're planning to work in during this first phase is what's on this particular map. And do you have a timetable for working on the other roads, the other gravel roads of Guilford?
When I come back and I can share what other projects, there are other projects that are currently in design. So our program lasts for 2 years. So it was approved by the state in October of 24. And this project runs through October of 2026. And so hopefully in that time, the Halifax, Guilford area will be well along to being rebuilt by the end of this construction season. And then we'll have another year ahead of us for anything that we don't get to this year. So I can share with Erica as more projects come forward, what those look like and where those might be.
Right. Oh, Jimmy, will you remind us of how many miles of gravel road we have in Guilford?
64,
Yeah, 60.
plus or minus.
Plus,
Depends who you ask. That's a pretty good number.
Yeah, so 64 miles. How long do you think it would take Green Mountain Power to cover 64 miles of Guilford? Just ballpark figure.
it would take a couple of years to get
okay.
there. So right now starting next week, we'll actually have 3 machines working in the state. So our goal is to have about 60 miles buried by the end of this construction season in total, on our way to 80 plus miles across
In the state.
in the southern half of the state. So not all gravel roads are the same. So I guess this is sort of more indicative of a road where you have many residents, a main line that's going through, and that sort of fits a certain profile. So we do have some of the calculus, how many customers are in some areas, so it doesn't always make sense to try and get every last mile. But we also do have another aspect of the program that's currently being worked on, which is a storage facet. That's not in place yet, but GMP currently does have battery storage programs for folks that are sort of off the end of the line, just to
Oh, you mean like battery walls?
like
or
a Tesla
yeah.
power wall or something
Yeah.
to that effect.
Mhm.
So we're trying to round out the program with some
Right.
of those other things, but this first phase is just major rebuild, major
Okay.
major line rebuild.
Okay, does anybody have any other questions? Okay, well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you,
Thanks a lot,
thank you.
appreciate it.
I'll work with Erica and be
Thank
back.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so that ends our extensive reports for tonight.
All 20 minutes of them.
Right, well, it's important. So, okay, so we're now moving on to old business. And you'll see paving on Guilford Center Road. We're looking for a motion for the Class 2 V-Trans grant. And so how do we want to phrase this motion?
I can say a little bit about that.
Okay,
The select board did vote, I think the last meeting, to accept the grant when it came in,
right,
because we applied for it, and now we have the grant agreement here. So since it's timely, you can just, you read it, it was in the folder, you can make the motion to accept the grant, or for me to sign the grant agreement.
okay. So I
That's the
move
first piece.
that we authorize Erica to sign the V-Trans grant,
Class 2 grant agreement?
Class 2 grant agreement. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, then Tara, your vote?
Aye.
Okay, Mike?
Aye.
Sheila?
Aye.
And I say aye. So, the next motion is to authorize Erica to disseminate the RFP for paving.
To issue an RFP
Okay.
for that work. It's
Okay.
paving Guilford Center,
Okay.
2 miles of Guilford Center Road.
Okay, so I move that we authorize Erica to send out the RFP for paving on Guilford Center Road. and we have a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, so,
Excuse me.
yeah,
There's a RAV4 with the rear windows down and he probably won't be comfortable. It's sprinkling, it's rain.
Yeah.
okay,
Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy.
okay. So, approving the RFP, right? Isn't that what we're doing?
Yes, authorization to issue an RFP.
To issue it.
Issuing, I know, all those verbs, okay. Okay, well, I guess we could wait for Mike to come back to get his vote. Tara, how do you vote?
Aye.
Okay, Sheila,
Aye.
and Veranda says aye, so can we just let Mike vote when he comes back from closing his windows?
Sure, yes.
Okay.
You three are a quorum anyway, so.
Okay, so the next thing is, oh, that's right, this is retroactive. The DV Fiber representative appointments confirming by resolution. Lynn Pancake got in touch with us and said that he discovered that he had not been officially appointed. Is that correct?
Well, right, and that's because DV Fiber, because of their special statutory status, requires a resolution of the select board to appoint the representatives, not just the annual appointing spreadsheet that we typically use. So here's the resolution
Okay,
with Lynn Pancake as representative and Jason Black as alternative.
okay. Would somebody like to
I'll
move that?
move that we retroactively approve the resolution to appoint a representative to the governing board of the Deerfield Valley Communications Union District.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Do we need to include their names?
Sure, you could say, well, I mean, I just read it and I
Yes,
just added to
okay.
the minutes.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay, so we have a second for that? I'll second it.
Yes.
Tara
Oh,
seconded it.
Tara seconded it, okay. So Mike, we're on the DV Fiber
Right,
representative
right, yeah.
appointments, and you know about that.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so Tara, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Sheila,
Aye.
and I say aye. Okay,
You have to
so,
go back to Mike's vote on the RFP.
okay, so Mike, how did you vote on while you were closing the windows, on the RFP?
Authorizing.
Aye.
Okay, very
Yes.
good. Okay, now we're on new business. Okay, so,
Oh, well, Jimmy left, but I can let you all know that our dear Dick Garland is retiring next month from our road crew. And so Jimmy asked if I could get one ad out. So that is what I am here to ask the select board for their permission to do so.
okay,
And
with,
hopefully we can have somebody on the crew in time for Dickie to train them a little bit before his last day, which is, I believe, August 29th.
oh,
And so you guys can think about how you'd like to
honor him,
set
for
him.
heaven's sake. Oh, okay, would somebody like to move this?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion?
I'll just mention, we did have another applicant for the other, well, tentative, and then he didn't actually apply, but we
Yeah.
might wanna follow up.
Well,
It's hard to
perhaps,
find people, so.
yes, okay. Okay, so Sheila, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Okay, Mike?
Aye.
Tara?
Aye.
And I vote aye. And we have taken care of the tax sale report. Okay, so authorization for between meeting check signing. And so Chip, oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is well, why don't we have somebody else read
This
it?
is a very
since-
specific guidance from, I think VLCT put this, like, here's what the motion needs to say. Because this is about open meeting law, and here we are doing an exception to open meeting law in having select board members authorized to come and approve payments that aren't at meetings. So this motion covers the people who can do it, and also the stipulation that whatever they authorize will be brought to the full board.
Okay, so
Can-
would you like to share it, Mike?
Yeah, Ellie has a question.
Ellie?
It's not a question, I just wanna point out that that's what we have done for the past year.
Yep.
And it's provisionally approve the expenses until it does come to the full board. Yeah,
And the authorization to do this is for one fiscal year, that's how we did it last year, so.
right.
Okay, take
All
it
right.
away, Mike.
I move that we appoint Chip Carter and Brenda Porsche to approve and sign orders operating expenses and payroll expenses for fiscal year '26. Any orders that are approved under this authority must state definitively, the purpose for which they are drawn. The full select board must later be approved with a record of all orders approved.
Must be approved for all records approved?
For all the orders approved.
Sorry, the full select board
Ellie
must
has an addition.
be provided with a record of all the orders approved. Okay, sorry.
Okay, Ellie?
It's not an addition, but this past year, it was not and, it was or. One was an
Or.
alternative. If I couldn't get a hold of one
Chip
person,
or veranda.
it was Chip or Veranda.
Okay,
Because if somebody's away on vacation.
Right, it can't be both, it shouldn't be both, it
Right.
should be one or the
okay,
other.
so do you want to just cross out and put or?
Yes,
Can we just do that?
yes.
Okay. Okay, and so a second for that?
A second.
Okay, can I vote for myself?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, Tara,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Sheila,
Aye.
Veranda, aye. Okay, we have taken care of that. Okay, and now we have more action.
So can I just say one thing? It says
Yes.
the full select board must later be provided with a record of all the orders approved. Not that the
Yes.
select board has to approve in retroactively. All they get to do is look at what's happened.
Well, I think we did have them
Like-
in with the warrants, didn't we?
Yeah, in the warrant.
Yeah.
The full select board has to approve it. So where you get the invoice edit list and the warrant, you would also, you would still get all that information to then be approved by the full board.
Okay, it doesn't say that.
Okay,
The
what does it say?
resolution does not say it. It says the full select board must later be provided with a record of all the orders approved, not must approve retroactively.
Well,
On
they
the
need to
warrants.
do both. They need to be provided with everything.
That's not
Yeah.
what this says.
Okay,
So do we need to amend it?
I would suggest that you want to say the full select board must later be provided with a record of all the orders approved so that they can approve them retroactively. I would,
so the full board can
so
approve
the
the
full
measure.
board can then,
Okay, so shall we amend the motion to reflect?
I move that we amend the motion to indicate that the select board also approves the orders retroactively.
Okay, and so
Sorry, I just,
do we need to second that?
Well, maybe we
I'll
should
second
just
that.
restate that, the way you just said.
yeah, I mean, that's basically what
Okay,
I just,
alright,
I'm saying. I
alright.
think we need to amend this motion to state also that the select board will be provided with the report of all the orders approved so they can approve that.
So the
Then
full board
retroact-
can, so
Sorry?
the full board can
the full board can approve them retroactively.
Yes.
I think
Okay,
Tara
and
seconded.
so the minutes will reflect that. So shall we vote on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sheila,
Aye.
Mike,
I,
Tara,
Aye.
and I say aye. Okay,
Sorry,
so,
everyone.
are you caught up?
Yes,
Okay,
there are
the next
non-employee work agreements.
is,
And there are 3 of these now.
FY 26 non-employee work agreements, and we have to handle them separately,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so the motion would just be to approve non-employee work agreements for blah, 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 or we have to say what they are?
Well, yes, I can tell you what they are.
Okay, well, why don't you just read it out?
Okay. So can we do all of them at once? Anybody?
I'd like to do all of them at once.
I think that's okay. I will just say what they
Yeah.
are. We have the one for Mominy Painters for the work on the Historical Society Museum. That will be done this summer. We have one from Anson Baldwin Tree Care for anything done in FY 26. And we have one for Mess Dollar Cleaning Services.
Oh,
For
that
anything
wasn't
done.
on the
That's
agenda.
right, that one was not. That one we just got in the mail today.
Okay,
But since it's on the agenda, I think it's okay to add.
okay, yes, because the category is there.
Yep.
Okay, so I move that we approve all 3 FY 26 non-employee work agreements. Second?
I'll second that.
Okay, any conversation? Okay, so Sheila,
Aye.
Mike,
I,
Tara,
Aye.
and Veranda says aye. Do we have any other business? How about correspondence?
I have a small amount of correspondence. We got a notice from Wyndham Regional Commission
Oh,
about
yes.
the regional plan. There's a public hearing for their regional plan, and that will be on July 22nd, 2025 at 12 p.m. and on Thursday, July 24th at 6 p.m. At the office, and there will be a Zoom link provided. And this notice is on the bulletin board at the town office and on Wyndham Regional Commission's website.
Mhm.
And we assume that Steve Limke will be at this meeting? Is Gabby still representing Guilford?
I don't think, is she?
Yes, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Because we never hear from her.
No. No, and yes, that's true. I'll
Do we need to reach out to
forward
Steve?
this to both of them to see if
Okay.
they've received it.
I'm sure
I
they,
do, I assume that they have. And so
Okay,
the other piece of correspondence that we got, I don't know if this affects Guilford specifically, because I don't think we had any temporary housing, but this is a
oh,
notice
right,
from the Department of Children and Families of the state of Vermont, letting municipalities know about the end of the temporary stay for homeless folks that ended July 1st. And it says the program will operate under eligibility criteria similar to last year, as established under Act 27 of 2025. So we are in the Brattleboro district, and there were 51 households in the
put out.
whole Brattleboro district affected.
And how many children?
How many children?
34.
34.
Yeah, not our proudest moment.
no.
And
Okay,
it could impact our town depending on,
Well, that's right, and that's why they sent it to
well,
us, yeah.
we could be faced with what to do.
okay, so now, in general, we no longer read actions taken from the past meeting, but the actions taken in this meeting were the approval of the minutes, the approval of the warrants. We approved the Class 2 V-Trans grant, the authorized RFP for paving. We retroactively moved on the DB Fiber representative appointments. We authorized the job posting for the highway department vacancy, and we approved the going forward with the tax sale process. We authorized Chip or Veranda to be between meeting check signers. We
Not check signers,
Provisional.
provisionally
Authorized.
approving expenses that need to be paid in between.
Thank you so much, Ellie. That's right. That is really right. We're not going to be drunken sailors in between these meetings. And, okay, and we approved 3 non-employee work agreements. In terms of actions to be taken, I think it would be useful to have members come up with questions for Bob Fisher on this tax sale business, because I'm still in the dark in my understanding, so I'll try to come up with some as well. And I think our next action to be taken is to request a motion for adjournment here. Okay, Sheila, welcome home.
Jet lag and everything.
That's right. Okay, we've got a second. Tara, do you approve?
Aye.
Okay, Mike, Sheila,
Aye.
and Veranda says sayonara for tonight. And thank you for a very productive meeting.